people, today is Tuesday, the 25th of July, 24th of July. Anyways, we're making our way here through the month of July. We've got our Spanish tasting tonight at the Four Seasons at the Edge Restaurant down on Brickell. Tomorrow night, we've got our Jorge Ordonez event at Cafe Max, so kind of Spanish wine week this week, and then finishing up with the winemaker for Yacachula right here at the store on Friday nights. And, you know, every time I taste a wine from the 2009 vintage in Bordeaux, I think about that UGC tasting in January where I got to try 100 and some odd wines, 109 wines in the course of 4 hours. Actually, I went an hour early and just barely made it through the Sauternes, but it doesn't seem like this is a killer vintage for Sauternes 2009, a very good vintage, but a lot of times the conditions very different for Sauternes than they are for the great red wines and white wines of Bordeaux. The great red wines, well, you need good conditions at flowering. That happens around May, April, May. Then you need a nice warm summer, not too hot, not too cold. You want veraison, the time when the berries change colors, to happen early. It happened in late July, usually happens in August. And then you want nice weather throughout harvest. You want enough heat to get the grapes ripe. You want just enough rain, because you don't want to have too much of a lack of rain, a drought, because those grapes need a little water at the end of the season to get ripe. So everything was just perfect in 2009. I remember tasting through the St. Emilions first, thinking, man, this is a killer vintage for Merlot, and then making my way through the Pomerols, thinking, what a killer vintage for Merlot. And then as I got to each individual appellation, the Cabernet was really good. I mean, everything was really good in 2009. However, they didn't have a lot of wines from this lowly Bordeaux Superior appellation. The UGC mainly focuses on appellation wines and, you know, the top level of quality from Bordeaux. But knowing, after tasting through 109 of these wines, I knew that the Bordeaux Superiors had to be just outstanding in 2009 as well. And, you know, we've had several things in the store, and everything, even the Bordeaux AC wines, which is even lower classification, have been more than just cooking wine. Usually we don't even feature those wines here in the store, but this is a great property I was unfamiliar with to lead this 2009 offering. We have one of these Bordeaux Superiors, Chateau Camarasac. Sounds like Camarasac. Sounds like, well, a lot of these Bordeaux chateaus sound alike, but this property goes all the way back to the 12th century, and, well, it's now owned by Thierry Lurton, or it's managed by, it was purchased by Lucien Lurton in 1973, and Thierry Lurton is currently managing this property, one of the most famous families in Bordeaux, the Lurton family. And this wine is a blend of mostly Merlot. Most people don't realize most Bordeaux are mostly Merlot, even some of the top level wines. And there's a little bit of Cabernet Sauvignon and Cabernet Franc in this blend also. The Entre deux Mers appellation is where Camarasac is from. Well, they call it Bordeaux Superior for the reds. They would call it Entre deux Mers for the whites. And this wine has got a good amount of ripe black cherry fruit, dark berry with a cedar and dried tobacco, notes of coffee and cocoa spice. Really classic Bordeaux. Maybe not quite as forward and juicy as the Wine Spectator's review might lead you to believe, because 2009 is a forward and juicy vintage. But this wine, to me, a little bit more classic. Had a good amount of earthiness and spice on the nose as well. Smooth and balanced on the tongue with ripe and round tannins, a good amount of fruit and that earth and spice showing through the finish here. And this wine continued to improve on the second day after it was open, and even the third day, still very nice. And that is a sign of a great vintage in Bordeaux. These 2009s, we've got an incredible offering here, everything that's available right now in the marketplace. And unlike 2010, you know, 2009, very expensive, but we've had a lot of action. 2010, we think, even though it's a great vintage, it's going to come down in price. 2009s have gone up since our initial offering. And a lot of these wines, based on the initial offering price, we still have goods that we bought on futures here, so you will not find better prices on a lot of these items anywhere in the country. Well, check it out. And remember, when you're looking at value in Bordeaux, Omedac, Chateau Bernadotte, $25 a bottle, great little value. Chateau Fougas Maldoror, this wine's from the Côte de Bourg, another appellation where you're finding these satellite appellations of the right bank, just some incredible values. This wine's like $24 and change on this offering, a bit more juicy and ripe, like this. A lot of these wines are from 2009. But check it out, all the great values that we have on this offer. And then, of course, we've got Chateau Lafite Rothschild. If you want to spend $2,000 a bottle, you can. All right, I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying, remember, always drink the good stuff first.